Welcome to Dr. Mary Travelbest's 5 Steps to Solo Travel Guide for women like you who need a little extra support traveling the world, one woman at a time. Now you can read the latest in the best-selling book series, 5 Steps to Solo Travel, Part B, a woman's guide to destinations in her prime, and it's found on Amazon. I've been traveling solo since 1972. Please share this podcast with future travelers like you so you can make their trips the very best, like Travelbest. Then rate and review it so others can find it and help bring a little bit more peace to the world, one person at a time. In this episode, the FAQ is, what about immunizations other than COVID? Where can I go for good medical advice? Today's destination is Little Rock, Arkansas. Today's lesson learned, taking too much luggage. Travel advice, tips for wildlife watching, photos, and using binoculars. You'll want to stick around for these. The FAQ, do I need other immunizations besides COVID, such as typhoid fever immunization? Answer, are you traveling to countries that are known for having diseases? Find out. This makes a big difference when solo, especially in steps 4 and 5 travel. RSV, COVID, flu, wow, the triple whammy. Typhoid is bad in what countries? Hepatitis is bad. Malaria is where? Tetanus shots? Every 10 years? Polio? Ooh, there's a lot to know. Ask your doctor, what immunizations do I need? Get your official international certificate of immunization that contains a record of your vaccinations and immunizations for you to keep with your passport. There are at least 10 recommended immunizations you may need depending on where you're traveling. You can go to a health seminar for travelers and go search the best ones. You will likely be paying out of pocket for all of these services, including immunizations, so choose wisely. In most cases, health insurance does not cover these visits, generally speaking. I contacted my health provider, Sharp Reese Steely, and they have a travel clinic, booking out several weeks in advance. They were unable to tell me the fees in advance because they are so busy, they said. Be sure to plan ahead. Listen for an upcoming health episode on the CDC questions to ask your doctor before traveling abroad solo. Today's destination, Little Rock, Arkansas. About 200,000 people live here. It's a step 1 or 2 trip in the 5 steps to solo travel. The best time to visit Little Rock is in the summer, even though it's muggy hot. You've got long days and short nights, make for lots of fun in the sun and shade, and you've got breezes along the river. The hospitality is wonderful in Arkansas. The Clinton Presidential Museum is one of the highlights of downtown Little Rock. Indians influenced the river and are honored at Riverfront Park. Carve time to enjoy this park, free and easy to navigate. If you're coming from the east, as I did, it's an easy drive from Memphis, Tennessee. Some of the brighter parts of Little Rock include the greenery. It's abundant. There's plenty of water available for walks and lots of paths along the shore. And exploring as a step 1 or step 2 traveler is really easy here. Riverfront Park has concerts, events, and plenty to entertain and amuse. So check the calendar for the dates you're visiting. There's lots to do, and just find out what makes you tick. There's a zoo, I mentioned the river parks, but there's also plenty of museums and history, including a lot of Arkansas history. And don't forget to sample some of the local home-style cooking and local favorite dishes. Do pack the bug repellent and watch out for poison ivy. Today's mistake was Too much luggage. One of my mistakes is taking too much luggage. I forget to think of how hard it is to carry it. Here's an example of that. You can only carry what you lift in one load. So lighten up. You don't need to bring those golf clubs unless you're a pro. You can rent a set. These are things that get lost, require a bigger vehicle, and may be hindering some of your travel adventures because you're luggage heavy. So don't be like me. I ended up with multiple trips and a headache besides worry. Bring the minimum, and you'll be glad you did in the long run. I'm packing now for a 90-day trip with only a personal item. It will be a challenge. Tell me your story if you've done such a thing. Today's travel advice, tips for wildlife discovery, photo tips, and using binoculars. First, wildlife watching tips. Your car serves as a good blind for watching wildlife, protecting you and the animals from one another. Pull all the way off the road, turn off the motor and the lights. Keep pets quiet and inside the car. Don't trespass on private property, and when in the national park or national forest, observe posted signs. Now, some photo tips. Use a telephoto lens and a tripod. Respect the safety and welfare of your subject and aim for photos of calm, dignified, unstressed animals. Try the morning and afternoon light with the sun at your back. And if you don't have a telephoto lens, show the animal in its natural surroundings rather than trying to move in too close. You could lose the shot altogether by spooking the subject. And how about binocular tips? Well, here's what you do. First, find the subject with the unaided eye, and then bring the eyepiece just under your eyes. Sight the subject over the tips of your eyepieces, and then slowly bring the binoculars to your eyes and focus. I like binocs that are small and compact. What do you like? I want to bring meaning to your travels. Send a question or a travel tip. Let's connect on my website, Facebook page group, or Instagram. You can subscribe to this podcast on YouTube or Twitter. Find 5 steps to solo travel on Amazon. The show notes have more details.
What's on your travel bucket list? Tell the doctor and her team of women who travel the world seeking the very best. Dr. Travelbest, that is.